Okay, this is a set of notes on angles formed by parallel lines and transversals. Okay, so in the last video we saw four types of angle pairs. We saw corresponding angles, we saw alternate interior angles, we saw alternate exterior angles, and we saw same side interior angles. And all of these are from the same basic sketch. And we're going to show you where these things are in this sketch. So if I have corresponding angles, I have these two, and corresponding angles are angles in the same relative position. So if the one angle is up and to the right, the other one also has to be up and to the right. Alternate interior angles are angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal between the two parallel lines. Alternate exterior angles are on opposite sides of the transversal outside of the two parallel lines. And same side interior angles are between the two parallel lines and on the same side of the transversal. Now, here's the thing. If these lines are in fact parallel, we get some information about these angles. If they're parallel and we have corresponding angles, then the angles are congruent. Same with alternate interior angles. And same with alternate exterior angles. Now, the one that is different here are the same side interior angles. And in these, if you look, there's no way that these can be congruent because this one is an acute angle, less than 90. This one's an obtuse angle. But in fact, these are supplementary. Okay, so we have a thing called the corresponding angles postulate that says if the lines are parallel, the corresponding angles are congruent. An alternate interior angles theorem that says that if the lines are parallel, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. An alternate exterior angles theorem that says if the lines are parallel, the alternate exterior angles are congruent. And we have a same side interior angle theorem that says if the lines are parallel, then the same side interior angles are supplementary. Now this is easy to remember because same side interior starts with S, supplementary starts with S, it's the weird one. The one that starts with S is supplementary. Okay, so let's get a big picture here and just notice some things. Okay, so here's our big picture of two parallel lines cut by a transversal, right? Now we said that the corresponding angles must be congruent and that the alternate interior angles, oh wait, these are alternate interior, so all three of these have to be congruent. And then the alternate exteriors also have to be congruent. So those four angles all have to be the same size. The same side interiors have to be supplementary, so these two have to be adding to 180. This one and this one are vertical, so those have to be the same size. This corresponds with that, and that corresponds with this. So really there's only two angle measures in this entire drawing. So if I call this 1, 3, 5, and 7, those all have to be the same size. And then 2, 4, 6, and 8 also all have to be the same size. So if you put all these theorems together, you get this drawing where you have four angles that are all congruent and then four other angles that are all congruent. And if you pick one from each set, they have to add up to 180. Okay, we also have one last little theorem that we can get out of this. Again, I'm starting with two parallel lines. And if I have a transversal that's perpendicular to one of them, guess what? It also has to be perpendicular to the other one. Why? Because these are corresponding angles. And if this one measures 90 and these are parallel, then this one must also measure 90. So if I have a transversal that's perpendicular to one parallel line, it has to be perpendicular to both. All right, so that's our video on angles formed by parallel lines and transversals.